Bonjour. Comment allez-vous? Trying to bring a little Parisian culture in here. Bonjour. We have a lot of people who visit us from Haiti, members from Haiti, who speak French. They all speak Creole, which is kind of native tongue of Haiti. But visitors every Sunday, it seems, from France. And when I see them, they greet me, bonjour. So I say bonjour to you. So we are reading now ending the 6th chapter of the book, the Gospel of Mark. And Jesus had just come walking on the water. The disciples thought they saw a ghost. The storm was against them, the wind blowing. He said, "Have courage, it is I. Don't be afraid." By the way, don't be afraid. No, it's easy for you to say. No, here's the word of Jesus always to us. If I'm your Lord and you're trusting in me and you belong to me, don't be afraid. Fear gets nothing. Be anxious for nothing. Paul says to Timothy, God has not given us a spirit of fear. Whenever we're afraid, anxious, just biting our nails, we're out of the will of God. Somehow we lost our spiritual composure. So don't be afraid. Get Jesus in the boat, though. Draw near to him. They were completely astounded when the wind ceased, when he got in, because they had not understood about the loaves, the previous feeding where he showed his supernatural power. Instead, their hearts were hardened. Isn't it something? God can do amazing things in our lives, and then 3 months later a problem comes, and it's like God has never done anything for us, and we panic. Instead of being mature and saying, don't know why this came my way, but I know the Lord permitted it, and if he permitted it, he's going to work it for my good. Dear Jesus, abide with me. As I travel life's troubled sea and make my life what it ought to be. Dear Jesus, abide with me. Good song, good prayer, good thought. Well, when they had crossed over the lake, they came to the shore at Gennesaret and anchored there. As they got out of the boat, people immediately recognized him. So Jesus was now getting a lot of public acclaim and recognition. They hurried throughout that region and began to carry the sick on mats to wherever they heard he was. Wherever he went, into villages, towns, or the country, they laid the sick in the marketplaces and begged him that they might touch just the end of his robe. And everyone who touched it was healed. There's nobody else in the history of the world who has the track record and testimony spoken about him like Jesus. Besides, he's the only religious leader. The tomb is empty. He's alive. Buddha, Muhammad, they're all dead. You say to me, well, they made that up. How could they make it up? By giving the testimony, his disciples, apostles later on, it cost them their lives in some cases. They were persecuted all over, cast out of the synagogue. Believers lost their jobs, all because they kept saying, he's alive, he's alive. So we learned that as he now crosses over, lands on the shore, everyone's trying to get to him. They're bringing all their problems to Jesus. What a beautiful picture. So you have a sister, a cousin, Uncle Tito, whoever. No, Uncle, if you could just get to Jesus. I got to get you to Jesus. What's that song, our friends, the Sisters? They're a great singing group from South Carolina. They sang that song here. I think it goes, I got to get to Jesus. This is a picture of intercessory prayer where we bring people in need to Jesus, but in prayer, not physically. You have anybody today, even if they've been mean to you, you know they need the Lord. Bring them to Jesus in prayer. See what he will do. And everyone who touched it, the robe, was healed. That's something about contact with Jesus. He put his hand on the leper, which no rabbi would have ever done. You don't touch an unclean leper. Jesus did. He laid his hand on the eyes of a blind man. Sometimes he just spoke the word. But many times there was this physical contact. And now we know that they had faith that if I just touched the hem of his garment, such was the healing power going out from him. Oh, Jesus, Son of God, Messiah of Israel. What power, what help, what love. And everyone who touched him was made well. Well, what if you were just 10 feet away and suffering, and then I'm not going to bend over and touch that robe. There's a lot of people around him. I don't want to bother him. Guess what? There's no indication that you would receive the blessing that Jesus could have given you. So how many of us have missed the blessing, even today or in the past, because we haven't gone that extra 10 feet? We haven't gone in total faith, dependence, going to the Lord, that extra, I was going to say mile, but it's not even a mile. He's so close. And touch the hem of his garment. Oh, that's a bunch of emotional baloney. No, it's not. There's such a thing as touching Jesus. There's such a thing as a visitation where the Lord touches you. You've never had a quickening from the Lord where he renews your inner person, touches maybe your body, your mind, your emotions were just like at the end, and now suddenly there's a peace. Oh, he touched me. Oh, he touched me. And oh, the joy that floods my soul. Something happened, and now I know. He touched me and made me whole. I just study the Word. I'm not into that crazy, fanatical stuff, Holy Spirit stuff. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And if you reach out today, bring someone to him in prayer. Reach out yourself and say, Lord, here am I. Touch me. Visit me. Help me. He never fails. See you next time.